Can we start? Yeah. Yeah, can we start? Yeah.
Because I love this presentation. I love the CEO. I love this logo that says ESPE 100 years. Sorry, just extra point for this. Very good. Yeah, that's nice.
Okay, I'm going to start. Good evening, dear Magister. We're the group number 7, and we are covered all of these topics during this short presentation. The first one, I'm going to start with the materials for the teaching of grammar. First of all, we have to know that that for teaching grammar, it's quite common to apply the TBL model, or also known as task-based learning. Basically, this kind of model try to use worksheets, textbooks, or workbooks where the students can apply what they already know about the grammar. It's necessary that we as teachers produce our own materials. They can be, or they should be, according to the students' needs and also according to the strengths and weaknesses of our students. We have to take into account some criteria in order to develop these materials. And here we have some of them. The first one is that we have to consider the age and the level of our learners. The second one is that the methodology attracted by the students. And basically, in this part, we have to know what are the learning styles that our students have. The other one is to explain about the realistic use of grammar, and it means that we have to explain how they can use a certain topic or a certain grammar in future conversations or situations. The other one is to consider the linguistic needs, and also it is related to the weaknesses and also strengths that our students have. The other one is that we have to explain very well the grammar, because in this way we can avoid the frustration in our students. And the last one is that it's a good idea to use exemplification before to deliver the tasks that our students have to do. We have to consider all of these aspects at the moment to design our resources, because on the other way, they can be interesting, but with a low pedagogical value. Here we have some activities that we can put in practice in our classrooms. The first one is a receptive activity. They are a bunch of exercises that they are already done, and the students have to find some differences and find the pattern of classification of each sentence. On the other hand, we have these activities that are related with grammar and meaning, and also they have already know, and we have to ask the reasons that they are correct to our students, and they are supposed to explain what are the reasons they are correct. Finally, we have the close relationship between grammar and technology. Nowadays, as we can know, the technology is involving our lives. So basically, we can use these kind of applications because they can provide an immediate answer checking and also an opportune feedback to our students in order to improve.
Have you ever practiced grammar exercises in these apps?
Yeah, we have used some application because our teacher Jose Lea provides some of them, and they provide a feedback where we can know about the grammar rules.
What about Grammarly? Because Grammarly is for text to correct writing.
Yeah,
so how are you taking advantage of this app?
Yeah, it could be a good idea to use in order to improve grammar, because as you mentioned, Grammarly is an application that corrects grammatical mistakes when we write, and they give the correct answer and also give a possible situation or a synonymous or yeah, something like that, a suggestion of how can a sentence be correct or be better. We can use some pictures with movements, or also known as GIFs, in order to make more interesting our materials. And the last one is that we as teacher can use the grammar in a context by, for example, we can start texting with our students by WhatsApp using some questions, and they can notice how they can use this question in a normal conversation. Thank you.
Okay, the materials for teaching vocabulary. It is criteria three main ideas. The first one is a planned approach to vocabulary development will be much more effective than dealing with vocabulary. And the second is their learning conditions that they have to have the learning of vocabulary and major goal material.
Sair, wait a minute. Is that the pronunciation of your name, Sair? This is the correct pronunciation? Yep. Okay, there it says a planned approach to vocabulary development will be much more effective than dealing with vocabulary. I don't understand. In ad hoc, what is that? I have seen this term many times. You explained it, but I don't remember. What is that?
Ad hoc. Ad hoc is similar. It's a synonym to improve.
Okay, a planned
hoc.
approach to vocabulary development.
Yeah, I have investigated about it.
Than dealing with vocabulary in improvement. I don't understand number one. Something is not very clear. What do you mean with number one paragraph?
Okay.
What I understand is this. I'm going to translate. It says, un enfoque planificado para el desarrollo de vocabulario será mucho más efectivo que lidiar con una mejora de vocabulario o maneras oportunistas. I don't understand.
Okay, teacher.
What does it mean in your proper words, in your own words?
Okay, the first paragraph it's about the in general is the applying approach, the vocabulary. In this case, the lector say that is a good idea to have a plain approach to vocabulary to development, and in this case is about the fluency in the fluency when the person learn the new words. That is very confused because the lectors say that these ideas not are very understand. Just is just ideas just ideas with some mistakes. That is not clear in the lecture, teacher. It's very confusing.
In the book.
Yes, it's very confusing. The book. I tried to learn.
It was confusing for you.
Yeah, no.
Or in the text it says that it was confusing.
The text
or it was confusing for you.
Teacher. In the text is very confusing in those three ideas I described this article.
Okay, let's go to the chart, right? I'm going to make a question. It says plan a vocabulary level. What is the difference between high frequency words and low frequency words? What is the difference?
Yeah, the high frequency words is when the people use the same words, and the low frequency is when the people use a few words.
Exactly. The high frequency are common words. Yes, when I say table, when I say door, when I say computer, these are high frequency because a lot of people know these words and a lot of people use them. But for example, like I asked you before, I said ad hoc, this is a very low frequency words because not everybody uses that. Ojo con eso, right? And what else we can find here? For example, let's go to number 3, and it says, now number 2, line number 2, it says these conditions need to get in activities to go across the force roughly equal strands. Yes, this is a roughly. What is the meaning of that? This is a low frequency word. What is the meaning of that?
Roundly. No, I don't remember, teacher. The meaning.
Okay, so after you take, in the next Zoom, you are going to tell me that. Continue, please. Very good. Good. Okay, continue.
Pass, please, Graciela. Yeah, okay. Designing input activities to encourage vocabulary learning. In this case, it's about when the teacher tries to add new words that are familiar with the students. For example, when the teacher teach new words, for example, about the sports, new words that the children's and unfamiliar words. That is the idea, the design input activities to encourage vocabulary learning. And in the case, they designing output activities to help vocabulary learning. In this case is, pardon. In this case is when the is the high level. In this case, the students try to learn new words for themselves. That
But it
is
says output. What is the difference between input and output?
yeah, input is when the teacher helps to the student they learn new words, and the output
It's acquisition. That's the name, acquisition. And the opposite is
no,
production.
no,
Yes. Ninguno me acuerdo. It's production. This is output porque sale. Yes, it's what I speak, it's what I produce. Right? But bastante bien. Continue. Very good.
Yeah. In the delivery language focused learning, in this case, it's a wide range of vocabulary learning activities which cover the various aspects of what is involved in knowing a word. In this case, we have the chart. In this case, use the form, spoken form, writing form, and the word parts. In the spoken form is the pronounce the words, and the read.
Okay, repeat. In the spoken form.
Okay.
Because four is this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. Form. Okay.
Okay, teacher. The spoken form is the pronounce the words and the read aloud, and the writing form is words and sentences dictation, and finding spelling rules. And the last one is the word part. In this case, is the filling word part, the table, and the choosing a current form. Finally, we have the fluency development. In this case, the students have to practice all day because if the students don't have, the students don't know the many words, then he can't speak very well because he doesn't have a good level of vocabulary. Continue my point, teacher.
Can you repeat the last idea, the previous idea, Said?
The fluency development, teacher. Okay. The fluency development is the students must have a good level of the vocabulary.
You mean level or level?
Level vocabulary.
Okay.
Because he doesn't eat.
He. Who is he?
No, because they don't have. I don't know. He is the.
He. Who is he? Andres?
No. Okay, it could be the child, the person. The person doesn't have a level vocabulary. The person doesn't. No, the person can't talk very well, and that is the idea, teacher. Thank you.
Ningún thank you. Wait. Yes.
Okay, teacher.
It says, the person cannot speak very well, but why? What is the problem here?
The problem is that they don't know, just know the common words.
Okay, Yeah, I know that. Okay, now I understand. Eso me gusta, chicos, que cuando se quedan en algo, se detienen en algo, you can give me the answers. Yes, this is the most important for me. So I like this. Continue.
Okay, good evening. I am going to explain materials for developing reading skills. First, what we have the reading behavior of L2 learners. I'm sorry. So we have the fluent and less fluent L2 readers, but being that fluent means that they have a vocabulary of between 10,000 or 100,000 words, but they also make use of their previous knowledge in skills of L1 to have a better control in the comprehension process. Now, Bank in 2008 investigates this study, but he focusing on 3 dimensions that are language, knowledge, and processing ability, cognitive ability, and metacognitive strategic competence. Then Grave in 2009 identified 4 components in L2 reading fluency, which are automatism, accuracy, reading rate, and prosodic structuring. The next one, please.
Go back, please. Yeah, and there it's okay. There it's Melissa, right? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Let's go to the last part. And in the last part, it says that there are 4 components reading fluency, which are automaticity. What is this? Can you explain me one by one?
Yes, automaticity means that it's quick and effortless, like a word recognition.
Okay.
Okay.
Accuracy is precision, right? What about reading rate?
Yeah. Reading rate refers like how quickly and automatically one person can connect the text, like the words of the text.
Okay.
And prosodic is when a person can read with expressions. Okay, like the volume, make an emphasis in some words and something like that.
What is the name of this? Do you know what are the name of these components?
I guess is the components of fluency, but
rhythm, stress, and intonation. I repeat, rhythm, stress, and intonation. These are the 3 components. Yes.
Okay.
Very good, Melissa. Thank you. Continue.
Okay. Now,
Yes.
La reunión se va a terminar en un minuto.
What? The session will be over in a minute?
Sí, en 1 minute. Sí tengo la otra sesión, por favor, para...
Chicos, for the second session, I joined the same link, or are you going to create another link?
Another link.
Okay, you send it to my WhatsApp, yes?
Yes.
Okay, so in this moment, leave the session and automatically we join the new meeting. So in this moment, let's leave. Yes?
Okay.
Small reading tasks with simple answers rather than having that the learner analyze the text. The next one
is an example of simple tasks with short answers rather than making the learner analyze the tasks.
Yeah, for example, just a simple reading like a short history for kids, and with simple questions. What is the title of the reading? What are the characters? Something like that. It's just a traditional way. Yeah. Now the language based. So it is a resource used to teach 2 languages through the use of grammar and lexicon as a habit for reading fluency. So this fluent reading requires a rapid and automatic word identification, extensive knowledge of the lexicon, and the ability to attribute the most appropriate meanings to lexical items and in their context. Now the skill strategy based. So this learning method relies on learners acquiring the sensory, motor, and cognitive skills necessary to use the language fluently, accurately, and appropriately. And the last one is the schema-based. Comprehension occurs when a new experience is understood in comparison to a stereotyped version. So the influence of this schema theory on students in pre-reading activities dropped great results in the following ways, like asking students to discuss, it could be in pairs or groups, their personal experiences related to a topic or the theme or the lesson. Sorry, and asking students to consider text titles, illustration, etc. The next one, please. Now, an alternative approach to for teaching reading. So L2 learners present several universal reading problems, but they need to be solved to achieve the fluency and comprehension that is sought. It is proposed an alternative approach to teaching reading, which embodies the following principles. They are four. The first one is the affection should be the main concern of reading materials. The second one, listening to a text before reading it. The third one is reading comprehension involves the creation of multidimensional mental representation. And the last one, materials should be help learners experience the text before drawing in their attention of its language. To conclude, so learners do have some language problems, but is not so much extensive knowledge of the vocabulary or syntax that they need. What they lack is the fun and involving experience of connecting the language with multidimensional mental representation. Thank you.
Hi, teacher. Materials for developing writing skills. Material represents the interface between teaching and learning, the point at which needs, objectives and syllabus are made tangible for both teachers and students. And they provide most of the input and language exposure that learners receive in the classroom and are indispensable to how teachers stimulate, model, and supporting writing. The roles of writing materials. The materials are
the materials,
used,
the roles of writing materials.
The materials are used to provide a stimulus to writing, to help students understand the language they need to write effectively, and to help teachers with ideas for organizing lesson activities. The main roles of materials are models, language, models, materials. Deme un ratito.
But the chart is there. Models, the chart is there, right?
Sí, es que no alcanzo a leer. Yeah. Language
scaffolding. What is a scaffolding?
Is
Can I help you, teacher? I'm gonna translate the word. Scaffolding is like andamiaje.
Exactly, andamiaje.
Teacher, your sorry. But what does the teacher do? Scaffolding is when, for example, you see a student who is not pronouncing well, who doesn't understand. So the teacher goes to that student and help giving more information or helping to correct the mistake. This is a scaffolding, the support to in any activity to any student. Yes, more than the concept, this is more than the translation. Sorry, this is the idea. When the teacher goes there to support the students. Yes, with the contents, of course, academic context. Continue and
next slide, please.
Wait. Here it says a reference or something like that. Can you go back? Yeah, it says stimulus and reference.
Again, main roles of materials are models, language scaffolding, reference, and stimulus.
I mean, with reference and stimulus about materials, what is that?
Stimulus, materials,
materials
is
Chicos, I don't see. It's really short. Not short, small. It says okay. It says sources, reference, online preparation, information, explanations. Stimulus, sources, which is sources which stimulate writing. For example, paper or internet text, but can include video. Sources and stimulate writing. Yeah, that provoke writing. Yes. Yeah, continue. I can understand.
Next slide, please. Selecting writing materials. Materials must be an appropriate level. Is equally important that they look beyond general instruction to aspects of grammar and vocabulary to prepare students for the text they need write in their social, academic, or work context. The problem is making sure that students get good writing models with material that is not so far away from them that they are discouraged. Textbooks as writing materials. Textbooks should also be treated with caution. Teaching writing is primarily a local and complex endeavor that defies being packaged into a textbook only. Textbooks often don't reflect the ways writers actually use language to communicate in real situations. We can in fact identify 5 ways of adapting materials: adding, deleting, modifying, and simplifying. Next slide, please.
Stop there. Go back, please. Let's go to our side. This question is for you both, Andres and Said. There it says textbooks should also be treated with caution. Teaching materials primarily a local and complex endeavor. What is this? What kind of word is this? Said. No es endeavor, sorry, it's endeavor. What is this?
Endeavor, teacher.
Endeavor.
Endeavor.
Okay, it's a high frequency word. It's a low frequency word. What do you think it is?
It's a low one.
Definitely, right? What is that? It's like an how can I say? When you try to do something, you make an effort. It's like when you do an effort, when you try to do something. And chicos, can I share a screen? Can I share?
Sure, teacher. I'm gonna stop.
Yeah. This is something that I love, and this is what I use. This is my best friend. Chicos, if you go to this is a dictionary, right? It's the Cambridge Dictionary. I was typing the word. And I love this because here appears the word, then it tells you what kind of word is this, if it is a verb, if it is a noun, so you have an idea of how to use this, and has the pronunciation.
Endeavor.
It says endeavor, right?
Endeavor.
And the concept is here. But what I like is this. This is a word for C1. Es una palabra C1. Yes? So it means that all the words in C1 definitely are low frequency words because they are not very common. These kind of words are difficult. So this is like an effort. Yo lo entiendo como esfuerzo, yo lo entiendo como, because of the examples to try to do something, como esfuerzo, como un empeño, because it is giving me positive examples. Yes, try to do something. This is endeavor. Por eso les pregunto, what is the meaning of that? This is a C1 word. But can you tell me a high frequency word, Said? Any word. Chicos, a high frequency word. These are the common words.
Brother.
Okay. Yeah. So these words, it says it's a noun, sorry. Y aquí está, es una palabra A1. ¿Cuándo tomaron A1? En segundo semestre o primer semestre, I don't remember. So these are very common words. That's important. So the C1 words or the B2 words are the words that you have to learn. ¿Sí, mis chicos? Are the words that you have to use to pass the B2 exam. Ya les va a tocar dar un international exam, so it's important to check the vocabulary. Eso era todo, mis chicos. So, what is endeavor? Andrés, now can you continue sharing the screen, Graciela? Yeah, okay. It says that defies. What is defies, Andrés? It says primarily a local and complex endeavor, right? Un intento, un esfuerzo local y complejo que that defies being packed. The textbook. What is defies?
Desafío. El desafío de empaquetar, dice un libro.
Yes, continue. Very good.
Next slide, please. Yeah, the internet and writing materials. The internet also provides a means for teachers to manage their materials and put them together as a coherent sequence of linked readings and activities to support student writing development. The internet is a source of authentic text material and a growing number of free, searchable online corpora that can be used to explore actual
What
use
is the
of
corpora?
language.
What do you understand by corpora? What exactly is this? Do you remember?
Dice, a ver, es un cuerpo en línea.
What does it mean? What is the meaning of that?
The web page.
Okay.
Páginas web.
Yeah, yes, don't translate, right? I understand. Don't translate. Yes, but what does it have to do with writing? What is
The writing materials.
Excuse me?
Books. The textbooks and the facilitates opportunities for students to publish their work with their audience. Point number 9.
Okay.
It offers access to a massive supply of authentic print, image, and video materials. Point number 1. Point number 2, provides opportunities for student writing communication with classmates and beyond. Number 3, offers practice in new genres and writing process.
What is this? Do you mean genre? Genres?
Genres.
Okay, what genres? How can I say? For you, it's just a personal question. What genres exist for you? And for the rest of the people, anybody who would like to answer this? Talking about genres. In society, in the past, there were supposed to be 2. Yes, male and female. Zaire and Andres have a male genre, and all of us chicas, right? We have a female genre. In the past, nowadays there are more. Well, the society says that there are more. For you, how many genders exist?
2, female and male.
No more?
I think that we can change something that is biological already. So there are those 2, but it could be appear many as people start feeling. So in different way that people feel, they can start or they can appear more and more.
Yeah, because now we have like 4 or 5. Yes, nowadays we have like more than 2. For me, there are just 2, but for me, for other people consider that there are, I don't know how many genres are there now, nowadays are supposed to exist in the society. So it's okay. Yes, continue, Nabel. Where did you stop? Continue, Andres.
Yes, next slide, finally. Yeah, creating writing materials. Designing new writing materials can be an extremely satisfying activity. It not only offers students a more tailored learning experience, but also demonstrates a professional competence and perhaps fulfills a creative need in teachers. Materials presented in attractive ways show students the interest that the teacher has invested in them, and they are likely to have higher face validity. Encouraging
I can't read, right? Can you make it a little bit bigger because it's difficult for me to read? If it is possible. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Now, please.
It's important to match the materials to the competence and target needs of the learners and the value of provided students with a variety of source material. Essentially, materials should contribute to a student's understanding of a target genre or provide opportunities to practice one or more aspects of the writing process. Thank you.
Okay, Mercedes, hello. Listen to me. This time I am not going to read. I am going to go to another web page. And while I am in another web page, I am going to listen to you. It means that I have to understand you, right? So I'm gonna translate this. Voy a pasar a otra página. Mientras estoy en la otra página, yo te voy a escuchar sin necesidad de leer. Y te tengo que entender, right? The same that I did with the rest of the classmates. So do your best with a good pronunciation. Yes? Now you can start.
Developing the material for speaking skills.
Can you speak aloud? Is possible? Very, very, very loud. I would like you to speak aloud so I can listen to you. And relax, don't worry. This is just a presentation. Vamos.
Developing material for speaking skills. One
Materials.
material speaking skills. Change in material for speaking skills. What we usually change in material using progress in parallel with the change in-
Mercedes, I don't listen. Casi no escucho. ¿Es posible hacer el volumen?
Ahí me escucho. Hello.
Okay, speak aloud. Try to use a teacher's voice. Remember, chicos, los teachers, las teachers, not necessarily English teachers. All the teachers have to speak aloud. Yes? Tenemos que conseguir voz de donde sea. This is one of the characteristics of the teacher. The teacher needs to speak aloud. You have to get the tone of your voice loud. Vamos, loud, really loud.
Things in material for speaking skills. I was things in material using the progress in parallel with the things in methodology. Big show no surprise in science activities in all courses books are perceived with principles in practice in our broad study. In fact, in material politics over the backside, the hybrid in class in the crystals of how the key principles of communication approach are incorporated in speaking activity. A tone is sharper, limited listening to speaking language in there is not possible on this moment to separate general change in material for speaking from for other basic skills, science, this material are subject to the similar debate. A proposed framework for the developing material for speaking language.
No.
No.
No, it doesn't say that, right? Vamos. A proposed framework for developing materials for
Spoken
for
or spoken.
what is spoken? Spoken?
Okay.
Okay, what is what are the, how can I say, the suggestions for this?
The spoken is
Continue, Mercedes.
okay. And the spoken language. Conceptually, learning needs identify subjects, nature and communication situation in different verbal verbal communication style, utilizing verbal source from relief in thinking skills here we look next. Here Greek looks important strengths in cultural methodology as being affected the destiny of specific material and will where the practices in showcasing as in teaching and framework and traditionally to serve the development of material or the skill the physics in has been subject in some detail and has also recommended areas that the service and ideas place in oral communication activity in Greek short perhaps has application for all unskilled Greek. The nature of communication reproduced in many courses in material is often more complex that leads perhaps because the simplified language is easy into listen into activities that are easy to take. Next.
Okay, Mercedes, stop. Okay, chicos. Do you have any conclusion or any message? Any conclusion or any message? No? Okay, can you stop the recording?